Hello, everybody, and welcome
Anime.
to another Nonsense Retrospective. I'm your host, as always, Rick, and joining me equally as always is Devon.
What's the line? Yeah, this is the way. Or is that Uganda
well,
Knuckles? I forget.
well, that's do. As long as you know D-Way, then yes, this is D-Way. And yeah, we're revisiting The Mandalorian. We're going to be talking about Season 2 today. But before we get too much into that, let's start with our time-honored nonsense asinine hypotheticals. And do you have one for me today?
You can pick any weapon from any mythology or fandom or whatever, and it is now your signature weapon. What do you pick, and how do you use it to dominate your foes?
Uh, I really like the wire lance in PSO.
Cool. I
It's
can't input here.
well, I'll describe it real quick. It's basically a claw on a wire, and the idea is you lob the claw at something and you can grab onto it, or you can just use it as a weight to electrify the wire and use the wire as a like a powerful whip.
Feel like that's very easily nullified by a very heavy wooden shield.
Yeah, but also you can just aim somewhere else. You can aim behind them, shoot
Yeah,
behind
yeah,
them,
yeah.
and have it loop
Do you know
around.
how shields work? You go like this. Oh, they're aiming there. Boop.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. Yeah, but it basically turns a normal person into Spider-Man plus plus.
okay, but
Like
without the Spider-Man strength.
yeah, you don't have the Spider-Man strength, but you do have the ability to like you got two of them, so you can just like you're not as big of a Zelda fan as some people, but like in one of the Zelda games, you get a hook shot and then you get two hook shots, and you can just go poi 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 and swing from A to B with them. So you could do that with these.
Hate to be that guy, but I feel like it's also outranged by a bow.
Okay, sure. But you don't run out of your one weapon, whereas you might run out of arrows.
Can always throw mud.
Yeah. You can do that with any weapon. So apologies for picking one that you couldn't really put a lot of input into,
I'm gonna
but
shit on it because I don't know nothing about it.
yeah. I mean, the real cop out one is the lightsaber because of how fucking cool it is. But you know, even then, you gotta be there to hit someone with it.
It's one of those weird things where like they don't make it clear in the films, but they make it clear in the books, as far as I'm aware. Of it's actually very hard to wield something that should have weight that doesn't have weight.
Yeah, I think there's a grand total of one time that a non-force user just uses the lightsaber, and it's Han Solo, and they do make a massive point of how fucking weird it is.
So much so
um,
that he goes back to reliable.
yeah, yeah, he basically says "fuck this" and gets out his gun again. Although to be fair, he is trying to cut into a starship, which would take more shots than none. So.
At least he didn't try to use it in like an actual duel or something.
Oh yeah, he was using it as a cutting tool, not as
Yeah.
a fighting tool.
If
Yeah.
he used it in a duel, he would have very quickly got what is it, the Skywalker special?
Yeah. So we're currently at 4 pieces. Do I hear 5?
Well, it's more like Anakin got his hand chopped off, Luke got his hand chopped off, Rey didn't, but she's also not a Skywalker. Fuck anyone who says
Yeah.
otherwise, including the
Yeah.
writing room.
Yeah. She stole the name. She
Uh,
just went, "I'm Ray, fucking Skywalker," and the ghosts were like, "I've been paid for all my lines. I can't see anymore."
but one of my favorite piss takes is how she buries the lightsaber in the sand, and it just cuts to Anakin going sand.
Yeah. But my one for you is: is there a Star Wars character that hasn't yet been seen in live action that you would adore to see portrayed in live action?
Oh fucking hell! You see, I'm not actually that well versed in out of live action things. Like there's animated characters, sure,
Mm-hmm.
but like the big one we know is going to be in live action anyway because he's fucking his name's in the series.
Yeah, Kenobi. Yeah.
No, well, Kenobi's been on screen anyway. No, I was talking about Thrawn.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, Thrawn. Yeah,
Like,
Thrawn.
which so it's kind of one of those answers where it's like that's what I want to see, but there's no point in saying that because we know that's what we're gonna see. I don't know, man. Uh, be nice for him to do like a live action series set on that fucking Death World. I forget the name of the species, but basically just like a live action interpretation of Savage's story.
Okay, yeah. The Night Sisters and Night Brothers on Dathomir. Yeah,
Yeah. I don't think,
yeah,
like, apart from Darth Maul, I don't think we've seen one in live action. But by the same token, I'd love to see a live action Ventress series. That would be cool.
yeah. Ventress would be a very good one for that, actually.
Like,
Now that you mention it.
show her pre apprenticeship to Dooku because she was a badass before she met Dooku.
Yeah.
So yeah,
They retconned her being into being the same race as Maul by
yeah,
making they basically neutered two races by making it something else that kind of existed in expanded universe before then, but there's so little that existed before that they might as well just roll it all up into one, so they did.
yeah. Although the Turbo Nerds did throw a bitch fit.
Yeah, they did.
It wasn't any worse than some of the dumb fucking decisions Lucas has made.
It wasn't any worse than fucking turning Boba Fett into a clone. But, that happened, and people tend to have forgiven that over time.
Yeah, because it turns out the clones are badasses.
Yeah. And they're actually, good characters to have around.
Well, it depends on the clone.
Well, yeah. It worked for Boba.
It worked for Boba. It worked for the Bad Batch.
Yeah, it did.
It worked for
Yeah,
any
totally.
character who decided to take out their chip.
Yeah. There we are. But yeah, like we said, we are going to be focusing today on Mandalorian Season 2. We might mention Book of Boba, but we're not going to go into it at any degree of intentional detail.
To be honest with you, there's not much there.
No. To be fair, we might as well do it on this, but we're not going to because we're not prepared.
Now, we're doing this as a bit of a quick episode today.
Yeah. So we start a little bit after Season 1 finishes with The Marshal. It's the Cobb Vanth episode.
Yes, he should not have gotten rid of that armor.
No.
He gets
fucked.
Gone.
He gets fucked without the armor.
I do appreciate, though, and like saying we're not going to talk about Book of Boba that much, we're going to touch on it very quickly here because Cobb Vanth was a surprisingly big part, even though he didn't have that much screen time.
Yeah, totally.
Where it's weird because in the first episode of The Mandalorian Season 2, they make it look like this guy is an absolute bitch chump without the armor. And then we see him again in Book of Boba without the armor as the proper marshal, and oh no, he's still a cowboy.
Yeah, he's grown into his role as marshal and stopped relying on being invincible.
But like, I always it feels like he could do that anyway. He just didn't have the confidence. Like, bear in mind when he first tried to liberate the town, it was basically an army against one dude, and you're not doing that no matter how skilled of a sharpshooter or quick shot you are.
Yeah,
unless your name's Cad Bane, but
And again, if it weren't for the fact that he appeared in Book of Boba, I'm pretty sure he would have been your pick for my question.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a space cow. He's not even Clint Eastwood. He's actually Lee Van Cleef in space.
Yeah.
I looked.
Is that the bad?
Yeah. He's Angel Eyes.
Yeah.
It basically when I looked it up, because I looked up a bit about Cad Bane, it's like he was based on Lee Van Cleef, which is just the Clint Eastwood of Clint Eastwood's generation.
So I looked into it a little bit more, and apparently Cobb Vanth was, I don't know whether he was the star, but he definitely featured in a novel trilogy, which came out after the Disney canon started. So it seems like Disney wanted him to be a big deal, and this was basically his live-action debut rather than the debut of the character in total.
Sure.
But yeah, they fight a crate dragon, so we get to see a crate dragon. That was cool.
Here's one of the coolest details, because I didn't look up this shit. I'm not that interested, but I'm subscribed to a lot of subreddits. Most of them are Star Wars related. And one of them is the sound that the crate dragon makes is identical to the fucking pitch the sound that Obi-Wan fucking Kenobi does in episode 4.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember when I mentioned that. It's when we did the episode 4 watch.
Yeah. Another thing is that when this episode was new, people thought that Mando was just going to cannibalize the Boba armor and just like give himself the sensor package and the backpack missile launcher and all that. Turns out he didn't have enough downtime in between to actually do that. So,
well, also he very much works to the Mandalorian code of, oh, this armor was taken. It needs to be either returned to our clan or returned to the person who owns it.
Yeah, return to the owner or return to the clan. And if it's returned to the clan,
then it gets cannibalized.
Yeah, either find a successor, which, you know, sometimes there is actually an actual heir for a person who has died.
Sure.
So that person would get it. Or, like you say, cannibalized, either ripped apart or actually melted down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the next one is The Passenger, and I kind of hated this episode.
I loved the episode. However, there is absolutely no denying the fact that it is pure filler.
Yeah, totally.
It was a good episode, but it wasn't a good, story.
Yeah, it could have taken part in season 1 quite happily.
I actually have an answer for this, by the way.
Yeah. I think you said a bit in the past that they wanted an 8-episode season.
And Filoni argued for it was either 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So
because there's basically 2 episodes that are more or less the same. There's the siege episode, and there's the one where they actually go to they go to a Imperial thing in 2 episodes and blow it up both times.
Yeah, weirdly enough, I remember fuck all about those episodes. I really don't. I remember the one they had. I remember the episode with Bill Burr, because we'll get to that when we get to that, because that was a good fucking episode.
Yeah, well, that was a way better Siege episode than the episode called The Siege.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really Siege, was it? It was. I mean, it ended up being like that because they needed to shoot their way out, but it was meant to be subterfuge. Oh, that doesn't. Yeah. Oh, Rick, I don't know if you can see the stream.
I also saw that in my Discord preview. So
you're back to normal now. It's all good.
Yeah, apologies to YouTube who just saw me become a grey square.
Ooh, he's a grey Jedi. Ooh.
I became a cardboard cutout. But yeah, in The Passenger, the froggy lady wants to get to the other side of the galaxy before her space menopause hits, because she's got her eggs. They're the last one she's ever going to lay, and she wants to go to Bone Town with her husband, who's like working away or whatever.
And we have the side threat of Grogu wanting to eat them.
Not even wanting to, he just succeeds at every opportunity.
Yeah, but I mean, he doesn't eat all of them.
Yeah, there's like a full jar at the beginning and there's like 4 at the end.
There's a bit more than 4.
It's very definitely not a full jar, and she very definitely does catch him eating them.
I know there's a point where he doesn't slap Grogu on the back of the head, but he does give him a bit of a firm push when he catches him eating it at one point. Just like, no, don't.
Yeah. I think the only saving grace is that because they're not fertilized, it's not actual murder.
It's not murder anyway, even if they were fertilized.
Well, yeah.
Not really. It's still fucked up because you're eating essentially the offspring of a sentient species.
Yeah, the offspring of a sentient species, like after the parents have decided to have a child.
Well, that's the key thing, right? The reason why it's fucked up is this person has a brain. You know, they think they can communicate with you, and they say, "These are my babies. Please do not eat." And then if you eat them, you are the asshole.
Yeah, they crash, and I think Mando wants to just wait it out. But Frog Lady really wants to get to the other side of the galaxy, so she hacks Richard Ayoade's head to give him a verbal tongue lashing. Well,
yeah,
I guess all tongue lashings are verbal, really, aren't they?
You know, yeah, it's fine. It's not the dumbest thing you said on the podcast. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's true. We've got The Heiress. This is the first reasonably story-driven episode that I can really think of. Like, yeah, the Cobb Vanth one had some story, but this one is actually setting up the season.
Yeah, I get you. This is one where we meet the other Mandos, right?
Yeah, you got Bo-Katan and her patsies, and they basically tell the viewers that Mando is a cultist.
Yeah, I had a very fun conversation with my brother. I remember this very vividly because I was in the room while he was watching it. Because I always watch new shows in the morning if I can.
Yeah.
And he was watching it about midday. And I was doing this thing where I'm like, okay, they're going to reveal who they are in a minute. So I'm just going to stop what I'm doing and just go, And the second they took off their helmets, my brother said, and I quote, "They're not Mandalorians." And I'm like, "Oh, you motherfucker! Bo-Katan is the most Mandalorian."
Yeah. She's literally the warrior princess of Mandalore.
Like, for real. Although she does do something later on in the series that drives me fucking crazy, but we'll get to that when we get to that final fucking juicy episode.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see Bo-Katan in live action, and they cast a great actress.
Yeah, Katie Sackhoff completely knocked it out of the park, and I don't know whether the Bo-Katan series is still going to go forward, but I'm still.
Oh, it'd be fucking criminal if they didn't.
Like, if it doesn't happen as a series, it will still be very good as spotlight episodes.
I feel like Book of Boba might have hampered its chances because Book of Boba was not as well received as it should have been. That's a fact. Yeah. I enjoyed it, but I acknowledge it has its pitfalls, absolutely. But taking it out of the equation, it would have been great to have had a series of, well, Bo-Katan trying to take over, reclaim Mandalore, as it were, and, oh, look, it's Mandalorian Book 4. But,
dude, ping pong between the two. Like, Tales of Mandalore. Like, you have a Boba episode, then you have a Bo-Katan episode.
Oh, yeah, sure, but I mean, just like, because Boba Fett got his own series, give Bo-Katan her own series and have the Mandalorian fucking show up halfway through, and then there you go, it's just Mandalorian Book 4, you know?
Yeah, he just ties it together, yeah.
Like, which is fine, I don't mind them doing that, but, you know, it was a bit of a fucking... it's the Bad Batch Clone Wars joke all over again, except it's more on point, because literally, Mandalorian shows up, Return of the Mandalorian, oh, it's the Mandalorian show now. Again, which isn't bad, but it's not what was advertised. But yeah, just a bit of an aside. I can't remember the character's name. Forgive me. The other woman Mandalorian, who's not Bo-Katan. Koska. It's played by Sasha Banks.
Oh, okay.
It's a WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
And I don't know what she's currently doing. I don't currently watch the WWE product, but just for context to the viewers, she is one of the 4 horsewomen.
Okay.
Basically kick-started the women's revolution, which is, oh, look, women's wrestling is good now because they're not just eye candy.
Good, yeah.
That's not me saying that. That's WWE saying that for about 20-plus years. Women's wrestling? Nah, we just want to see tits and ass.
Yeah.
There was literally a team called TNA, and it stood for tits and ass.
Yeah, I remember in the late 90s, my cousin had magazines of divas.
Oh, to be fair, they've had a long-standing relationship with Playboy.
Yeah. It was just lady wrestlers in bikinis. Go.
That's not to shit on the old school divas, by the way. There was some standout talents, but they were never allowed to, shine. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. I just wanted to point out that, there's Sasha Banks, and she can act.
Yep. Bo-Katan's main plot points in this episode were revealing that she has as much, if not more, of a beef with Gideon as Mando does.
Up until the child gets abducted, yes.
Yeah.
When the child's abducted, it's like, nah, that's not comparable, bro.
Yeah. I touch on that when it happens as well, but and the other thing she does is she says, "Oh yeah, go find Ahsoka."
Oh yeah. When they said, I didn't actually know that much. I'd heard rumblings and rumors that Ahsoka had been cast, but when they said it in the series, it became real.
Yeah. This is a big deal because it's the first time she's been mentioned since Rebels, where the last time she was seen was having a fight with Vader. Yeah. And Vader don't take no prisoners.
Although Vader is still very much Anakin, and Anakin has always very much succumbed to his feelings, as it were.
Yeah, I feel
Jesus
you.
Christ, that fucking VR thing that they do where you go through Mustafar and are doing shit for Vader. Like, you see him still talking to a holocron of Padme.
Yeah. Man, was that Vader Immortal?
I think it was called Immortal. It was like free chat. That was very good. Like I said, if I come up north, I'll have to bring that VR headset. It's a great experience.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be shit because it came free with the headset. So it's like, they don't give away stuff that's good for free.
Man, it was free. Oh, man.
It was,
shit, I might have to...
Like, I didn't pay... Well, bear in mind, it was a fucking 250 plus quid fucking VR headset.
Yeah, they do have to give you something to actually, like, show off how good it is.
Like, I bought one game on that machine, and that's Beat Saber because it's fun.
Yeah.
Just do lightsaber shit, but do it to a beat. That's it.
Yep.
Like, if I was gonna show off a VR headset to anyone, that's the game I'd give them to try, because look, it's simple, it's basic, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And then my next question is, do you like Star Wars? Yeah. I'm gonna blow your mind.
This is even more Star Wars than Beat Saber. This is actual Star Wars. Go.
Yeah. Dude, there's a moment in that where there's a creature climbing up a wall, and I'm just like, this is gonna be a slight spoiler, but it doesn't spoil any story, so who gives a shit? And I'm just like, that's a big creature. What the fuck is it? And then it roars right in your face, and I go, is that a... Because Roncalls look really scary in VR.
Yeah. Having something without the illusion... Well, okay. The idea is, it's the illusion of presence in VR, really, isn't it? So without the actual separation of the screen and the rest of the room that you're in... Oh, yeah, you don't want to be there.
I'll say this, right? That one moment in that VR experience is what told me I am never downloading a horror experience on VR.
Oh.
Because it wasn't scary, I just wasn't expecting it, so it frightened the shit out of me. I'm surprised I didn't wake up anyone in the house, because I'm pretty sure I screamed. And it was just like... And then I didn't know what the game wanted me to do to get past it, so I was stuck there for about 10 minutes, going, what? For those of you listening, I'm moving my head around a bunch, going, where's the...
He's chasing the Phantom Moth for comedic effect.
Turned a little bit into John Travolta a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, John Travolta meme.
Oh, gee. Yeah, but yeah, it's a good experience. I feel like I've sidetracked us. My apologies. Oh,
it's fine. It's all Star Wars related and Star Wars adjacent. Next episode is The Siege. It was a crap episode.
I can't remember anything from it.
Kara has a space parrot.
Hey.
She has a space ferret that's clearly a puppet, and it's a crap puppet.
I don't remember this happening.
And the child steals all the cookies using the Force.
Okay.
Yeah. He goes to school and steals all the cookies.
Oh, I vaguely recall that bit.
Yeah. And it reveals that Gideon has Dark Troopers.
Yeah, which are tough to kill.
Yeah, they are. Now, the next episode is the good one! The Jedi!
Yes. Episode 5. We finally see Ahsoka in live action. And, oh my god, did they improve on that outfit.
Yeah, they did. Like, in this episode, the outfit... Well, the prosthetics aren't very good in this episode, to the point that they've basically said, yeah, we're going to improve on them for the Ahsoka show.
It makes me believe that the reason why the episode is mostly dark... But yeah, when she shows up in Book of Boba for a brief scene, spoiler, oops, she looks much better.
Yeah. This is the only episode that's not written by Favreau.
Is it written by Filoni?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you might have.
Wonder why.
Wonder fucking why his actual OC gets starring role in this episode. Maybe give it to the person whose OC it is to write it. Yeah.
I do want to briefly touch on Ahsoka, because Ahsoka is an amazing character in that it's one of the few examples you can point to of a character that everyone in the fan base fucking hated when she first showed up, and everyone very quickly from... I can't pinpoint the exact moment, but there's an episode where it's like, it goes from, man, this character's annoying, why do they exist, to, okay, I get it. Yeah, you're okay. And then she just keeps evolving and becoming more cool. But that's also the benefit of having she is literally a child when we first see her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at the very least, like just into
teens.
like 13 at most. And then by the end, she's an adult and she's doing badass Jedi shit.
Like,
sorry, badass civilian shit.
I think the actual I'm not sure it's the actual turning point, but for me, the time when I realized people were giving her respect was when she got the second lightsaber. That
was quite a way in.
Like, okay, but you know what I mean? It's like she was now... She'd evolved herself as a character, and this is where she gave herself a fighting style that was her own. So this is when she like really cemented that she was her own person rather than just a Padawan, you know?
I get you. I also want to go into a bit of a rant at fans, if you'll allow me.
Sure.
Anyone who ships Ahsoka with Anakin needs to be shot.
Yeah.
There are several things wrong with this. First and foremost, apprentice and master. No, bad. Stop it. 2, she is a child. He is not. I realise that's a bit hypocritical considering the Padme Anakin thing, but...
Well, this is after Anakin has been married.
And number 3, anyone who thinks Anakin would ever go with anyone than Padme has not watched the fucking series. Ever.
Yeah. Like, there was a comic at one point where...
You're going to talk about the crazy nurse?
No, a different one.
Oh, okay,
he
cool.
Meets one of Padme's handmaidens, as in one of the ones that used to be a body double for her on missions.
Oh, no.
And she also misses Padme.
Yeah, makes sense.
And they have this kind of semi-almost fling.
Oh, no.
And it doesn't end well because it's Vader, and the status quo has to remain. But it could have gone differently if it was anyone less evil than Vader, you know?
I don't even think that's evil. I think it's like
devotion to the memory, you know?
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like devotion, but like a warped, fucked up version of it.
Yeah.
Do you know the comic that I was referencing?
Yeah, the one with the ensign who's basically Space Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
and, pining after Vader.
Yeah, at the very end when she catches him without his helmet, and it's just like, oh, I'll look after you, and just. Bzz.
Yeah.
I think he says something really fucked. I think his exact words are something along the lines of, "Put this in the trash compactor with the rest of the trash," but more eloquently because he's Vader and not me.
Yeah. Dispose of this as well.
The fucked up part is like her superior straight up said, "Don't fucking stick your nose in Vader's business. Just leave him alone. He'll kill us all."
Yeah. Like it's Darth Vader.
And
for people listening, I did some really dramatic hand motions to separate the two things that emphasizes both words equally.
Yeah, man. Don't fuck with Vader.
The last time I did that was at a party at uni when some lass came up to me and says, "I'm doing computer science, but it's full of nerds." And I did the same motion of, it's computer science.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you would expect by doing computer science and not expecting it to be full of nerds, but oh well.
Yeah, for real, man. But yeah, shall we go back to the episode at hand? Because a lot of things happened in this.
Yeah, let's shall. So, there is a magistrate on the planet that they're on. The magistrate is lawful evil. She's trying to kill Ahsoka because she's been doing chaotic good things. She hires Mando to take out Ahsoka, and his exact words are not that he will accept the job, it's, "Where's the Jedi?"
Yep.
So she thinks, okay, that means you've accepted the job, and then her guys stop harassing him.
Yep.
Which is great for him, because it means he only has to focus on the thing that he's focusing on and not actually being distracted by an entire planet full of goons.
Yeah.
He finds her, she gives us the child's name, Grogu. I've actually got it written in my notes as Greg Yoda. She refuses to take him as an apprentice because she can sense how much he loves Mando. And she's seen firsthand how badly the fear of loss can mess up a powerful psychic humanoid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder who she's referring to.
Like at the end of the episode, she tells them to go to Tython and like gives them some breadcrumbs to follow for the rest of the series.
Yeah, to get to the magic stones to send out a boosted Jedi warp force signal.
Yeah, just at everyone who's listening on Force Twitter.
Jesus Christ. I don't like the way you phrase that.
But the actual main meat combat focus of the episode is going on an assault on the magistrate's house while she's torturing all the villagers because just killing them doesn't seem to get enough of a rise out of Ahsoka.
Yeah, it's very cartoony the way she decides to treat the villagers. In that, like, I get it. Like, you're like, we want to show off this character as evil, so how do we do this? We make them do evil shit for no reason other than to be evil. Yeah, I think they try to justify it in that, no, they must know something, but even then, that means the character is paranoid and therefore not great.
Yeah.
There are two standout moments in the conflict, which I adore, and that is the magistrate has her own mercenary at her employ, who is an older gentleman, and therefore everyone should immediately go, we should be scared of this motherfucker.
Yeah, and you don't get many old mercenaries.
No, it's also why Boba Fett's name carries so much fucking weight.
Yeah, and that goes like triple for Cad Bane.
Yeah, but I did like the fact that the mercenary, I generally got fooled because like this guy's been alive for a long time. He's made it in his career where people do not traditionally live to an old age, and he's just like, I'm just here for the money, and puts his gun down. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. He's a mercenary. And then he fucking takes out a sidearm and tries to shoot Mando. And it's just like, okay, I guess.
That's also how he's gotten to that age. He puts people into a false sense of security and then wins.
Yeah, but also Mando's wearing Beskar.
Yeah.
So it was never going to work.
Another thing is, the magistrate has her own Beskar spear and actually holds her own against Ahsoka, although part of the implication is that Ahsoka wants to milk her for information rather than kill her.
Yeah, she wants to know where Thrawn is.
Yeah, exactly.
And when she names dropped that name, that's another moment where I'm like...
There is something that hints at that beforehand, though.
Oh?
The magistrate has HK droids. The HK droids have an insignia, and the insignia is of Thrawn's 7th Fleet.
Yeah, but you got to be a turbo fucking nerd to spot that.
Yeah. Turbo nerd is the exact wording I've got in my script.
But I want to go back to the fight scene between Ahsoka and the magistrate, in that it is... I forget the gentleman's name. He's a Japanese director who used to do a lot of samurai films. And it's shot like one of those fucking classic samurai showdowns.
Yeah, absolutely.
And by the end of it, Ahsoka's like, I don't need a fucking Beskar spear. Here you go, Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And
two lightsabers and only 2 hands.
And I very much deduced why it was a spear.
Okay.
Pedro Pascal plays the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
He played Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones.
I'm aware that he was a Game of Thrones guy. I have no insight or context for what the character was in Game of Thrones.
Well, don't worry about it.
Sure.
He had a duel scene where he was a spearman.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good at spear tricks because he fucking learnt it for the role. And I believe there's a quote out there by the choreographer who said, I've never seen someone pick this shit up as fast as Pedro Pascal. However, a lot of people seem to say that about a lot of different people whenever they teach people shit. So
yeah.
Take that with a grain of salt. Either way, essentially, it was a spear because Pedro Pascal can do fight scenes with a spear without needing to learn new shit.
Yeah. Another cute little thing from this episode is that the magistrate's actress has kept ties to the studio, and she's gotten her entire dojo, including her husband and her adopted son, to be cast as Tuscans in Book of Boba.
Oh, sweet.
So, like, they're all doing like the Gaddafi stick kata as. So
that explains why why that fight scene was so fucking good then, because she's
also an expert. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying Pedro Pascal's an expert. I'm just saying he knows what to do on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. That's very cool.
Yeah, she posted a thing on Twitter. Oh, I also have Dr. Pepper today.
Did you also have rumors when you were in school? It's like, oh, don't drink Dr. Pepper; it lowers your sperm count.
No.
Okay. If you used to drink Dr. Pepper in my fucking secondary or primary school, people would go, "Oh, don't drink that. It gets rid of your sperm." And it's just like,
I mean,
and I'm like, I'm 12, I don't care.
Yeah.
And now I'm older, and I'm like, that sounds like bullshit anyway.
A, yes, and B, we've got fucking enough of it. Like,
all right. Sorry, sidetrack aside, you were going to say some other tidbit?
Yeah, it's just that even though it was clearly a pilot for the Ahsoka show, it's still my favorite episode of the show of this series.
Okay, you're wrong.
Okay.
You're wrong. You're just wrong.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, Ahsoka is the first of 3 very fun returning characters. 4 if you count Bill Burr, but I don't. He was barely a character to begin with. He becomes a character in this series.
Yeah, true. So we got the next episode of The Tragedy.
Tragedy! Ah!
When your balls go red and he's shagging in bed, it's tragedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Way to keep it classy.
They go to Tython, which I found out when I did some digging that in the pre-Star Wars script, the planet Tython was already named even as far back as that, and it's meant to be the birthplace of the Jedi in total, like over the overall actual home world of the original Jedi.
Sure, but George Lucas ain't that smart.
Well, they co-opted the name into that. Apparently, they used it as a name drop for a Sabak move.
Okay.
But yeah, it's
I'm going to talk about this super obscure fucking minigame from Knights of the Old Republic.
Well, it's the game that Han Solo played to win the Millennium Falcon, but yeah.
Is it poker? Is it dominoes? It's both!
Yeah. They get followed by a very much alive Boba Fett and a very much alive Fennec Shand. We've seen Fennec Shand in this season already. This is the first time we see Boba Fett in more than just a leg and a hand.
Have we seen Fennec in this series? Do you mean series 1?
Yeah, in the series rather than the season. So yeah, he fights them off until the main course of stormtroopers arrive, and then they just kind of put their backs back to back and team up against the imps.
Yeah, because no one likes a stormtrooper.
Yep. During the crossfire, Boba robs the Razor Crest. He gets his armor, which is exactly what he wanted all along.
To be fair, he doesn't. It's not stealing if it's your shit.
Yeah.
Like...
Mando thinks it's stealing because Mando doesn't think that Boba is a real Mando. Yeah. Until he calls up his chain code on his wrist thing and goes, "Oh yeah, this was my master. That's my dad. That's his master. He was a real Mando. Therefore, I'm a real Mando. Get fucked, idiot." But
oversimplification, but yeah.
Then they shake hands and part ways, except they don't part ways for long because Mando doesn't have a ship anymore because he just got blown up by the Imperials.
Also, the kid got nicked.
Yeah, the kid gets nicked. The kid gets nicked by Dark Troopers.
Yes.
So after the Stormtroopers have worn down the heroes enough, the Dark Troopers go, okay, time to win now. The ship gets blown up, and the only things left over are the spear and I believe the little metal ball that the child used to play with.
Yeah, because Mando needs a reason to be sad.
Yeah. So yeah, the guy that trained Jango...
Sorry, very quickly. I do find it adorable how Boba Fett makes up a bullshit excuse to help Mando. Where he goes, I promised you the child's safety for my armor. I have my armor. And it's just like, it's basically Boba like, I'm not a good guy, but I'm going to make up an excuse to be good for 5 minutes.
Yeah. I'm not a hero, but let's fuck up those villains.
I get such Zaid like vibes. Like, all you need is Boba Fett to say we need to be big goddamn heroes, and it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, another little fun little tidbit. The guy that that Boba mentions as Django's teacher has the same name that Boba had in old lore before he got retconned into being a clone.
Sure.
Which I thought was cute.
Yeah, sure, man. I don't know, man. I didn't see it. I don't know what the name is. I don't know anything. I'm not that much of a nerd.
Yeah, they just took that character, shifted it backwards a couple of generations.
Why not? It's cool.
Chapter 15 is The Believer. And this is the Bill Burr episode.
Yes, Bill Burr, the person who hates fucking Star Wars and yet still gives it 110%.
Oh yeah, totally. Like that, and it really shows. Like the 110% bit really shows. Like how can you do well in something that you hate? Well, you put the fact that you hate it aside and you earn your paycheck.
It's also that Bill Burr doesn't hate Star Wars. He just shits on it in his routine. Like
he just thinks it's stupid. Like
yeah, because it is stupid. Everything's fucking stupid.
Oh, yeah.
But
if you can't accept that the thing that you love is stupid, then you've not been paying attention.
Pretty much. But it's one of those things where comedians. Okay, it's one of those weird things where I'm going to go on a really rant. I apologize. Where people go to a comedy show and then forget they're watching a comedy show, and that everything is a joke.
Yeah.
It's like, designed to be funny.
Yeah, it's there to be funny, to entertain you. And if it entertains you by being funny, great.
Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that some jokes can be upsetting.
Yeah, they can.
Rick, you and we are gentlemen of carriage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a massive fan of fat jokes because I am fat. However, some of them are very funny. But you know, I'm not going to get into it, but like, there are certain communities, shall we say, that really don't like being joked about. And I get it. They're currently fighting a fight. However, it's a joke.
Yeah.
And it's at a comedy show. It's explicitly a joke. And that is where I will leave it.
Yeah. Yeah. The hill to die on is not one of fiction.
Oh, God, no. Like, don't get me wrong, if someone says something on the street and it's like, it's a joke, and it's like, nah, they're saying that because they said something and realised you don't like it.
Yeah. They wanted to get a rise at you in the first place, and yeah. Then they pulled it's just the prank bro defense.
I hate that shit so much.
Yes.
My favourite type of video, which never gets posted because people don't post videos of themselves getting their ass beat, is when someone goes, it's just a prank, bro, and the person does not care and they still get slugged.
Yeah. Yeah. Bill Burr and the Mando infiltrate a Imperial base. Mando decides that the part about protecting a foundling is more important than the part about keeping your face hidden.
Yes.
Which is it's one of the Paladin dilemmas of, do you want to be lawful or good? Well, he wants to be loyal. Not to the letter of the law, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the things that I find absolutely sweet is after the shit show that Bill Burr's character causes, I forget the character's name, I'm just going to call him Bill Burr.
Mayfeld, I think he's called.
Mayfeld. The shit show that Mayfeld causes, he gives the Mando the Stormtrooper helmet, and he just goes, I didn't see nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Because every other person that did see his face is dead.
Yeah. I do love the fucking pan shot of the fucking canteen after the first shot is fired, of everyone just sort of momentarily going, what's just happened? Why is the commander dead?
Yeah, because that is exactly it. Bill Burr starts the firefight. The commander just promises in semi-polite conversation to be 10 times the villain that Mayfeld is already disgusted with. So he just shoots him point blank.
It's one of those where someone brought this up in a Reddit thread. This is not my own fault because I've not watched a complete new trilogy. Never going to watch that final film. Don't care. I wasn't forced. I said, I'll give it a go. And then I ended up watching the first two, which weren't good. But someone basically said, in 10 minutes of The Mandalorian Season 2, they have a better redemption of a Stormtrooper than Finn's entire 3-movie plotline.
Yeah, because they tried to drag it out over more than one movie, and then forgot that it was meant to be an arc.
Also, for fuck's sake, what a fucking dilemma to put someone in that you have to sit down and pretend to be okay with the atrocities you know this person's committed.
Yeah, and will continue to commit and wants to better himself on. He wants to beat his own KDA record.
But it's also like, it's not even implied, it's pretty much outright stated, even though they don't say it. Like, this torments Mayfield to the extent that he has probably got PTSD at minimum.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, the whole experience puts them on the same side very, very, very firmly now. Oh, and another little thing, the way that they sneak into the base is that they hijack a tank.
That was going to get fucked up.
Yeah, they don't use the tank, they just take the clothes off the people driving it. And when Mando gets into the firefight, he just treats the armor as he's used to treating his own.
Which is a bad idea.
Yeah, because it just crumbles like clay. It's crap.
Like, even his regular armor before he got the Beskar upgrade was better than Stormtrooper's fucking issues shit.
Yeah, totally. Although I think it is like implied that it's cobbled together from the best Stormtrooper things that you could find.
Maybe so, but like again, it's one of those things where if you're outfitting general troops, they're not going to have the best shit.
Yeah, your general
cheap and what you can quickly replace.
Yeah, general issue stuff is made by the lowest bidder.
Like special forces, sure, you're going to spend a bit more money on them because it costs more in hours, if anything, if one of them falls.
Yeah.
That's a very cynical way of looking at war, by the way, which one should never strive to do. However, that's like, if you want to talk about evil machines, the Empire's a pretty good fucking like standard for fantasy evil regimes.
Yeah. My last thing on this episode is that Mando then sends an email to Gideon telling him, you need a lot of fiber in your diet because next week's episode I'm going to push your shit in.
I believe he uses pretty much the exact same wording that Moff Gideon sends in the penultimate episode of Season 1 of, you have something I want.
It means more to me than you can possibly know.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself. This is happening.
Let's talk about the best thing of Season 2.
The finale.
Okay, straight off the bat, there's one thing I want to... it's about halfway through the episode, but I want to talk about it.
Yep.
Was anyone, even for a second, tricked by Moff Gideon's fake fucking giving up?
No.
Like, he was just like, I've already got what I want, you can just take it, I don't care. And it's just like, Mando, don't listen, he's gonna... yeah, there it is, there...
Yeah. Like, he could have gotten away with it as well.
If it wasn't for them lousy kids.
Yeah. Like, he literally could have gotten away with it, just giving over the child and letting Mando escape. Like, at that point, I think Mando would have actually literally just left.
Yeah, probably.
Even though the rest of his team wouldn't be happy with it.
Oh, I'm sorry, can I just also mention one more thing?
Yep.
I was like, why is Boba Fett not going with the group? And then when a character showed up later on, I was like, that's why Boba Fett wasn't with the group. Because that would be an encounter that lasts for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, it would have been awkward, to say the least. So I think what they do, don't they? They use Boba Fett to chase their shuttle into the Star Destroyer.
Yeah, something like... It's either that or he lures away TIE fighters or something.
Yeah, so the idea is they jump in the shuttle, then they jump in Boba Fett afterwards, shooting and missing to sell the idea that, oh shit, we need to be in a bigger ship with more shields than this. Can we come? Yeah. And it bypasses all the security checks, and they're like, okay, fine, sure. Send out some TIE fighters to chase it off, and then he gets chased off.
Yeah. Pardon me, my apologies. I do realise I'm the one who jumped forward, but I'm now going to reel it back a bit.
Sure.
The episode starts with negotiating with Bo-Katan.
Mm-hmm.
And we see Boba Fett basically not giving a fuck about Bo-Katan or Mandalore. He was never there. He doesn't give a shit.
Yep.
And he straight up says, that's a fucking suicide mission. And he then has a little fight with Bo-Katan's number 2.
Yep.
It's great because the only because Boba Fett doesn't even start it. And they only stop when Bo-Katan says stop, and the implication is, at least as far as I've read, is that Bo-Katan realizes that she's not actually talking to a regular clone.
Yeah. And it's only now when she realizes it. She's realized that this is someone who has lived a full life, not an accelerated one, and has spent that entire life being a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Not just a mercenary, like an actual bounty hunter who goes out and actively searches for targets. Like every single person that he goes for is at least in some way dangerous.
Although that also being said, this is also someone who worked quite closely with one Vader.
Yeah.
So
and lived.
True.
Worked closely enough with Vader that Vader was A, sick of his shit, and B, willing to hire him again.
Yeah. One of my favourite things that I don't think is true, but I think it's an adorable fan theory, and that is the reason why he put up with Boba for so long is because his voice reminds him of Cody.
Aww.
Cody was Cody Anakin's clone? I forget. Rex. It's either Rex or Cody.
Rex was Anakin's. Cody was Obi-Wan's.
Rex then.
Yeah, Rex was Anakin's. He was the blue one. Cody was the yellow one.
Yeah. Turned on his master pretty fucking quick.
Yeah.
They all did. It's not their fault. Chips.
Like, if Obi-Wan had taken another minute to get to Cody and say hello and goodbye, then he just wouldn't have even had the lightsaber.
Yeah, but you got to chalk that up to, oh look, it's dramatic for the movie.
Yeah, and it's just like when Obi-Wan and Anakin just say goodbye and part as friends, saying may the Force be with you and all that, and then they're never friends again next time they meet.
Yeah, well, best lightsaber fight on the big screen. Just saying.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, this episode might as well have been called Return of the Jedi, but that title was already taken.
Oh, Jesus. That would have spoiled it. The Rescue is such a good title because going in, you're like, yeah, the gang's going to rescue Grogu. And then you get to the fucking hallway scene, which we'll talk to in a minute. We'll talk about in a minute. We should get everything else out of the way and then talk about the fucking lights. Yeah,
so to avoid being stabbed in the back, Din pulls out his spear and duels Gideon.
Yes.
And wins. And Bo-Katan throws a flippy shit at this. Because she wanted to fight him.
I really fucking hate this, alright? Because...
I think everyone does.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, it's all about the story and this and that. And it's like, okay, you're going to die, Gideon. The only people who know this story are in this room. Can we all be in agreement that Bo-Katan beat Gideon? And even if that's not the case... Bo-Katan has fucking accepted the saber before without doing a duel. I know that what followed was some bad shit, but it wasn't actually related.
I think that's part of the superstition behind it. Like, because she accepted it without a duel, like the superstition is that the bad shit happened because of that. Rather than,
I know, but Bo-Katan's above that.
Yeah, but the people that she has to unify are not.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
But this is what I'm saying. The only people who know what happened are in that room. Gideon's going to jail at the very minimum, if not getting fucking executed. And it's just like, to everyone in the room, are we agreed Bo-Katan kicked his ass? Yeah, we are. Yeah. Doesn't have to leave the fucking room.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, like, she could just challenge him to a game of rock, paper, scissors at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. It really undermines any amount of enjoyment people got out of Bo-Katan, is that she's chosen this moment to die on that hill.
Yes, yeah. Like, I even wouldn't have an issue with her being a dick about it if she hadn't accepted it before.
Yeah. Or even saying, I can't accept it again, but the best I can do, and just turns to Koska and go, is be your advisor.
Why Koska?
Well, because she's another Mando that's there, and like, just saying that one person can't have the saber more than once, for instance.
Yeah, but that's never been in the rules.
Yeah, fair enough. But
Darth
yeah,
Maul was allowed to be ruler of Mandalore, for fuck's sake.
yeah. Half of Darth Maul was ruler of Mandalore.
Dude, that fucking scene with Ahsoka and Darth Maul is fucking... I love it so much.
Man, yeah. The one that I really love is when she just goes to him in his prison cell and goes, "I need chaos," and then just lets him out.
I'm not even sure what bit you're on about. I'm just talking about specifically in the Mandalore throne room when everything's going to shit.
Yeah, yeah. I'm talking about in the last season of Clone Wars, when Order 66 was live. The clones were hunting Ahsoka, so Ahsoka needed a distraction. What better distraction than the most dangerous prisoner she'd ever taken?
Fair enough. Oh my days. I do... Sorry, I'm going on a tangent. My apologies. But I do like how they try to make Darth Maul very Yoda-esque when they find him again in Rebels.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Where he
yeah.
acts all fucking senile, and it's like, oh, this is just everything Force users do to fuck with people, I guess. Like, that's so cool.
It's built into their psyche that you have to rely. If you have to rely on your powers, make it obvious that your body isn't able to do it without them, and then subvert that expectation when the chips are down.
And then he fights the Inquisitors and shows them why their helicopter shit's dumb.
Yeah.
Oh god, I hate that shit so much, but it does look funny.
I think the only reason that he loses to Sidious as well is because Sidious was kind of expecting something like this, and had hidden additional lightsabers all the way around his house that you could just get at any time.
I only remember him fighting Sidious in Clone Wars.
Yeah, that's what I mean about that. Like, he fights Sidious in Clone Wars alongside Savage,
Yeah,
and Savage gets murked.
But I thought he got fucked up because despite Darth Maul's skill, no matter how skilled he gets, he always feels fear just at seeing Sidious. Sidious has that installed in his brain.
Yeah, yeah. He's still a creature of emotion. And sometimes fear overwrites rage.
I mean, it does when it comes to Sidious.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, Sidious has one trick in his arsenal, but it's a good trick.
Yeah. it's overpower with extreme prejudice. Also force lightning.
He does it with Vader a bunch as well. Whenever Vader gets uppity, he just reminds him, hey, you know, I can fuck you up.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, you're 85% circuits, dickhead.
All right, if you want to be cross about it, sure.
Yeah.
All right, fuck it. I'm chomping at the bit. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, the Dark Troopers are a pain in the ass throughout this entire episode. They are implacable. They are difficult to kill. The one thing that they do to try and kill them all doesn't work. They try to burst them out into space, and they can all fly, and they don't need air. So that makes an even worse problem.
One of the best things they do in this episode is they establish just how hard they are to kill by showing the Mandalorian killing one and having a hard time about it.
And then there's a corridor full of them.
And it's just like, nope.
And while they're trying to punch down the door, we see an X-Wing in the distance.
Okay, when I saw that X-Wing, I hoped beyond hope that it meant what I thought it was going to mean. However, there was a very small part of my brain that said, watch it be that dickhead from fucking Fallen Order. The ginger prick. I forget his name.
Yeah.
I didn't want that, but I'm like, that feels like the move that they would do. However, it's just like, it's one X-Wing. I'm like, I know who rides an X-Wing.
Yeah, I know who has the X-Wing that has R2-D2 in it.
Well, but you don't see R2 in the fucking shot, though.
True enough.
But yeah, I was watching this corridor scene, and first of all, I was genuinely... I was like, it has to... I want it to be Luke. I want it to be Luke so bad. And then it's just like, lightsaber goes on. Oh, the cameras are black and white. We don't know what colour that lightsaber is. But it is a gloved hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know who was in the original footage?
No.
Plo Koon.
See, he he definitely died in Clone
Oh, he's
Wars.
definitely dead. You saw it happen. But the idea is they put Plo Koon's head on this body
in order to trick the people on sets that they didn't get leaked. Yeah.
So if any fucking wise guy wanted to spoil it, they go, "Oh, Plo Koon's back," and all the nerds will go, "Dickhead." No, it's not.
To be fair, though, I like Plo Koon.
Yeah.
But he died super hard in the film, not even in Clone Wars the animation.
Yeah, he got shot in the arse while he was flying his plane.
Yeah, which, by the way, for people who don't know, Plo Koon is actually the best Jedi pilot.
Yeah.
Better than Anakin.
And even Ahsoka looks up to him a lot. She just goes around, calls him Master Plo, and they have a really nice relationship.
He's the one who found her, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
He's also got this cool trick, which is basically Force lightning, but for good guys.
Yeah, I think they call it Force Judgment or something.
Either way, he doesn't use it because the rest of the Jedi Council don't like it when he does, and that's actually the reason. He's used it twice, and both times he's assured the Council he felt no rage while he did it.
Yeah.
But the Council's like, stop it. And it was like, all right, fine.
Stop it off, it looks like evil.
Also, he has an orange lightsaber, and he's the only character apart from Mace Windu who has a unique colored lightsaber.
Until Rey gets she get a yellow one or orange.
Rey can fuck off. She ain't canon. But I do remember when Episode 2 first came out, and Mace Windu had a purple lightsaber, and it's the first time that it's not been red, blue, or green.
Yeah, it's not been RGB. Yeah.
And all the fans were like, "What does this mean? Does this mean he's got a perfect symmetry of the Force?" And I think everyone got disappointed when it turns out no, Samuel L. Jackson just really likes the color purple.
Yeah. He was chatting to George Lucas and goes, "So what color can mine be?" And he goes, "Well, you got green or blue for the good guys and red for the bad guys." He goes, "What about a purple one?"
But I think George Lucas's answer wasn't even yes. It was like, "We'll see if we can get you a purple one."
Yeah, we'll see if we can get you one. Yeah. And he's got BMF written on his.
Yeah. I've seen the interview where he goes, also, the reason why he wanted purple wasn't just because he liked the color purple. It's also because in the giant fight scenes he was in the Clone Wars, he wanted
to see himself. Yeah. He wanted to be able to be picked out because obviously the camera is going to focus on Anakin and Obi-Wan because of the main characters, and Yoda because he's new and interesting, or rather, his battle form is new and interesting. We don't get to see that until it's one-on-one anyway. But being able to zoom zoom out and still be able to see Samuel L. Jackson fighting. Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, no, I get it. I do also like the interview where he reveals the bad motherfucker on his lightsaber hilt because he straight up says, "Oh, it's not just purple. Sorry, you can also tell which lightsaber's mine because it says bad motherfucker on the hilt." I love Sam L. Jackson. Every time he fucking reveals something about Star Wars, it's always a treat.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, until Sidious's lightsaber got revealed, it was also the one with the most bling. It's got literally the most gold on it out of any Jedi lightsaber.
Maybe so. I really don't pay that much attention to the handles.
Don't
worry about it.
Okay, the universe fell apart.
It's not me. It's someone else in the house being a knobhead. It's fine.
Fine. So we get to see Luke murking the Dark Troopers one by one, sometimes multiple in one go, in a weirdly poetic reflection of what was the Rogue One Vader having to choke a bitch and kill everybody scene. Except, this time it's good guy doing it against bad guys, and the bad guys all being robots, so you don't have to care about them being, sentient beings.
Absolutely, man. Oh, it was a treat. The choreography was great.
Yeah.
That's all. What can I say? It's how Luke should have been treated.
Yeah, absolutely. And Luke takes the child away.
Which lasts all of one season.
Yeah. Or half of a season. Which I think it's actually Mark Hamill this time that does the voice, whereas next time we see him, it's this weird, emotionless deep fake, which they shouldn't have done. I understand having to age actors down using CGI or recreate actors who have passed away using CGI. I don't think you should do the same for the voice, at least, especially with the technology that we have right now.
I didn't have any issue with the voice. It sounded fine to me. But
yeah, the voice was fine this time, but when it
yeah, don't worry about
it. When it shows up in Book of Boba, it's conspicuous by proximity to Ahsoka, because she is a person playing the role compared to the AI and the CGI. And there's so much more emotion in Ahsoka, even when she's being, well, especially when she's being coy, you know?
Yeah, but they're kind of doing this weird thing with Luke where even though pretty much every novelization of the character has him being like, no, fuck the old Jedi fucking way, it didn't work, let's change that. Fucking no attachments is dumb. This, that, hide your emotions. Nah, fuck that. But, yeah, they seem to be leaning into him becoming what, episode fucking 7, not 7, but 7 and 8.
Episode 8 Luke. Yeah.
Which sucks, because that means Kylo Ren kills Grogu.
Yeah. And it's just proven not to work. Like,
oh, wait, no, it doesn't, because Grogu fucked off. Ignore me.
Yeah, he buggered off. Yeah, he's gone. He gone.
Also, how did Luke have Yoda's lightsaber?
I don't even know how Yoda had Yoda's lightsaber.
Yeah, because, if he had it, he sure as fuck didn't make it known he had it. It could very well be that Luke just fucking made up shit and made his own a miniature lightsaber and just went, this is Yoda's now.
Yeah. I think the actual reason is that because the Republic now has control of Coruscant, they'd have all of the things that were in the Imperial Palace, one of which might have been Sidious going, oh yeah, I remember when I beat Yoda, yeah, this is his lightsaber, dickhead, and he just puts it in a jar or whatever, and they've been able to recover that.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but whatever.
It makes slightly more sense than being able to recover Luke's severed hand and make a clone out of it, which is what happens in the Thrawn novels. Oh boy!
Listen, whenever cloning comes up, unless it's part of the clone army, I really fucking hate it.
Yeah, at least they go to the extent of actually having a part of the person and having actual DNA, and not just going, oh yeah, I stuck you with a needle and took a sample at one point.
I really don't like the sentence, I stuck you with a needle.
Yeah, it's not even fun in context, you know. But yeah, when then we get to the final scene, they set up for the Book of Boba.
Oh, before that, we also see Pedro Pascal fucking hell. Jin,
manly tears.
Mandalorian, do manly tears, not to mention also outright actually disobey the creed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's he's already disobeyed the creed to get the child back, and now he's willingly giving him up. Like, I think this is the least he can do, is show exactly how much he cares to this kid, because the kid needs to know.
Yeah. But also, for fuck's sake, man, just lie for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Really, talking about Bo-Katan's bullshit, let's talk about Jin's bullshit in that one episode of Book of Boba. Have you ever taken your helmet off? Just lie, bro.
No.
Just lie. just, it takes 2 seconds. Lie.
Yeah. But yeah, like we say, it ends up with the setup for the Book of Boba, with Boba and Fennec going to Jabba's palace. Bib Fortuna is doing his best to become the size of Jabba, and he gets shot in the head, and then Boba sits on the throne.
I do find it amusing how much Bib Fortuna does not expect to die in that moment.
No, he's seeing someone who was one of his employees at one point.
Well, not his, but his employer's employee. More like a colleague.
Well, even then, I think he was above the other mercenaries because he was the major domo. He was like Jabba's number 2.
Yeah, but again, like, I wouldn't consider you being. You're not paying him, therefore he's not your employee. You just work for the same boss, you know?
Yeah. Bib Fortuna was HR.
Well, it's also like, it's not like Boba Fett was part of Jabba's organization. He was a bounty hunter. He was a freelancer.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, and also he stands above the Rancor pit. But I think Big Fortuna realizes, maybe don't drop Boba Fett in the Rancor pit. Number one, because he has a jetpack. Number two, because he knows that it's there, and if he sees me reaching for the button, he's gonna proper kill me. And then he kills him anyway.
And number three, there isn't a Rancor in it.
Yeah. Yeah, number three, there isn't a Rancor in it.
And Boba knows that.
Yeah. Because he saw it die.
Fucking... that would be your number one. Don't do the Rancor pit. Why? 'Cause not a Rancor in there. It worked on... then again, that's being said, it worked on Black Caston.
Yeah.
But then again, he's also a Wookiee.
Yeah, I think the idea was drop him into a prison that's big enough to hold him.
I mean, literally, like, the fucking mods had a real tough time dealing with him, and then if it weren't for Fennec, probably would have killed a few folk.
Oh, totally. And they deal with Chrysanthemum in the best way, which was show him respect.
Well, to be fair, though, how much respect are you going to have for what? Like, okay, it's one of those things that villains do a lot, which never makes sense to me, and that is, you are my muscle, and instead of instilling loyalty into your muscle, you treat them like a dog.
Yeah.
Dogs have breaking points.
Yeah, they do.
Especially when they're not a dog.
Just because he can't speak English because his mouth don't work that way doesn't mean he's not intelligent.
For real, if someone always obeys your orders without complaint, don't treat them like shit.
Yeah.
Because you don't want that person as an enemy.
Oh, no. Like, one of the more profound orders you can give to someone like that is to order them to tell you what they actually want. And do your best to at least throw them a bone now and again.
Well, like, I'm going to use a Game of Thrones reference of one of the things that Tywin says when the Hound gets promoted to Royal Guard, and the Hound is Joffrey Swan Sword before getting promoted to the I forgot what they're called, the White Cloaks. And Tywin's pissed at this because, and I quote, "You feed your dog scraps under the table. You don't let them sit at the dinner table." So it's like, you reward your dog, and you make sure they're treated well. You don't elevate them to the same level as you. So it's like, you reward good behavior, you punish bad behavior. You can't treat them like shit for no reason, but you can't put them on the same pedestal that you're on.
Okay.
It's a delicate line, but it's like, again, another thing he says is, when you defeat your enemies, you raise them up. You don't treat them with steel, because then why the fuck would anyone ever surrender to you?
Oh, totally. Yeah, you got to make surrender a
option,
a believable and enticing option for facing your faction.
I butchered the quote, by the way, but yeah, it's literally like, if surrender isn't an option, people aren't going to fucking surrender.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's time to get into our final three. So, from the entire series, this entire season of this series, do you have a favorite moment?
All racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfectly choreographed. It was fantastic, and like we say, it was a mirror image of something that was already the best scene of something else.
Yeah. And I want to say, until he cropped up again in Book of Boba, it genuinely was like, Luke Skywalker is back. We're going to see Luke Skywalker as Luke Skywalker should have been. Who knows? It might still claw it back, but the Book of Boba and what we gleaned from Luke's character in that doesn't bode well. But whatever.
Yeah.
I'll fling it back to you, sir. Favorite moment?
I hear your green lightsaber moment and raise you 2 white ones.
Like,
even with the finale on everyone's tongue when it was new, like, the Ahsoka episode is still my favorite. And just seeing those white sabers, which actually are canonically the only white sabers around right now, just light up the foggy fog and just cut through the weather, just gave me a big old nerd boner.
Wielding 2 swords is always cool. What can one say?
It is, yeah. And yeah, she took those from, well, she took the crystals that became her lightsabers from Inquisitors and purified them.
Okay.
Which is like kind of a neat thing to do, because Inquisitors are meant to have taken a lightsaber from a Jedi, corrupted the crystal until it goes red, and she's purified the corruption, but it doesn't go back to being green or blue. It just goes, okay, I'm done with being a color.
Okay, but for real, one of my favorite sentences ever was when Clone Wars came out, and it was revealed that Count Dooku was a secret Sith, and someone just did the suggestion of, hey, if you're the Jedi Council, why don't you just do a quick lightsaber check, like, once a month? Like, just, hey, show us your lightsaber. Red! You know what I mean, though? Wouldn't that be fucking funny?
Yeah, it would be. That's in fucking Visions as well, isn't it? That one episode. Everyone gets a lightsaber that reflects what they are in the Force, and everyone apart from the one good guy has a fucking red one.
Oh, I've only seen, like, the first two episodes. Oh, I've seen up to the twin episode, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. I should finish that so we can do a fucking Visions retro. Anyway,
Yeah. I also watched, like, 2 episodes of it recently. I remember watching, like, episodes and... Well, we saw the first episode more or less at the same time, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
No, we didn't. We wanted to, and then we couldn't because it kept getting fucking delayed, didn't it?
It kept getting delayed, and also it turns out each episode is about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Except for... And then you got the fucking people who did fucking Gurren Lagann trying to do a fucking proper fucking, like, series-length story in 20 minutes, and it's like, it was never going to be good. Like, that you tried to cram 2... I get the story you were trying to tell, and that would have been cool if you'd had at least 4 episodes, but you had 1. It didn't work. You can't put that much story in that length of time.
You can't cut to a finale and expect it to have impact.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We digress.
We can't always just talk about the good stuff. We have to talk about what we didn't personally enjoy quite as well. So, on that note, do you have a weakest link?
It should have been less episodes.
Yeah.
Like, there's the 2 obvious filler episodes, and, like, fillers... I didn't have a problem with the filler. It was fine as filler goes. I didn't... At the time, I was like, okay, that was obviously filler, but it was fine. It was interesting. It was entertaining. But, yeah, if the person creating your show says, I've got 6 episodes, and you give them 8... It's the exact same thing as when someone says, okay, I need 10 episodes. You got 5. You know?
Yeah, like... And it's the same as when someone says, okay, for homework, you have to write 7 pages, and you've finished in 2.
Well, that's when you get the fucking cronk of, right, the poison for Cusco, when all you needed to say was the poison. Because, you got to stretch that shit out.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I like to think I'm pretty good when I'm writing things at making it kind of concise.
I mean, you've seen the way I do notes.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, it's the one thing I'll give my college teacher credit for, and that was, she said, here's all the information. You need to condense it into notes that you can understand and read. Don't copy the whole thing, because that won't help you. And I was like, okay, message received. And that's why I write notes like that now.
Yeah. The way to jog your memory is often something small and concise and usable.
So, but by the way, I was also in the age of smartphones. I didn't have a smartphone at the time. So I was writing notes manually. If you write notes manually, you want it to be as short as possible.
Yeah, you do. Because you want to write it quickly before the next thing comes up on the board.
Pretty much, yeah. And it was this really awkward moment of most people in the class, phone out. That was it. And there's me going, don't need that many words, don't need that. That's not going to come up. Fuck that one.
Yeah. You don't need quite as many filler words like the even either. But
yeah. That's the first thing that fucking goes.
Yeah.
The and no, fuck that. Comma will do. But yeah, the fucking tangent out the way. My apologies once again. I will fling the question back to you, sir. What is your weakest link for Mandalorian season 2?
Yeah, I open this by saying, is it cheating to say filler episodes again? But the thing that I actually wasn't as keen on was, at the time, the Book of Boba announcement was very unclear. There wasn't a lot of clarity around it. It took the wind out of a fair few people's sails when it seemed like, at that moment, it was the end of Din Djarin's importance in the entire universe.
Oh, yeah, there was definitely an air of that.
Yeah, there was a lot of speculation. It wasn't until they actually came out and revealed a couple of, at least weeks later, that Mando 3 was actually also in development. That people actually got excited about both, rather than being, having a bittersweet pining for more Mando when knowing you're only going to get Boba, which he'd done well. He made a good entrance and made a good case for himself, but he's not the one that we've been following for 2 seasons.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. When we got to Book of Boba felt very nerfed.
Yeah.
Between seasons. Not from back in the day. I mean, from the end of Mandalorian to the start of Book of Boba. It's like, the fuck happened to that guy?
Yeah. Because, he had his... when he had his ship, he was like, oh yeah, we're getting chased. Oh, let's drop a bomb and, blow up 2 TIE fighters with 1 missile. With the old overdrive bombs that make a big old ring.
Mm-hmm. That one scene from Clone Wars.
Yeah. But yep, let's get into our time-honored tradition of the MVP.
Well, Rick, bear with me for 1 second. You're going to hear tippy taps. I apologise. I know who my MVP is. I just need to look up their name.
All right.
You ready for this?
Go ahead.
I apologise in advance if I butcher this. Giancarlo Esposito.
Ah, good old Moff Gideon.
Yes, but specifically the actor. Yeah, because my fucking God, that dude knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. It's a good way of... Your story is only as good as your villain, and he did a very good job of being a compelling villain that everyone wanted to hate, both in story and out.
I'm very sorry, but my computer felt it was necessary to inform me that it's Earth Day. So, thank you, laptop. Continue.
Happy birthday, Earth, I guess. But yeah, he's... Yeah, he did, like I say, he did a very good job. The characters hated him. The viewers enjoyed watching him and enjoyed hating him, Some villains are just fun to watch be arseholes,
Here's the moment that actually cinched it for me, though. He is always intimidating and always scary, and he never yells.
Yeah, totally.
But beside that, when Luke is coming through the fucking hallway, the switch from being all cocky and you're all gonna die except for me, and the moment he recognizes who he's looking at on the screen, and the color drains from his face, and all you can see is pure fear.
He shits an entire brick. It's great.
I don't think many actors could have fucking pulled that off, and he fucking nailed it. He did that scene justice, and he's exactly what they needed, and so he gets my MVP.
Yeah, because he goes from not only being smug about being the only one that is going to survive, he's also peppering in a bunch of trolls. He's trolling Bo-Katan, going, you didn't duel me, and now you're never gonna get to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And trolling everyone else, saying, you're not gonna shoot me in the head. You got a Republic officer right there.
Who, by the way, went off to space at some point. We'll never see again. But
yeah.
But yeah, definitely deserving of the MVP award. Moff Gideon's a great character, but I don't think they would have been shit without this actor playing them.
True.
And gun.
If they didn't have Moff Gideon, they would have had to have Thrawn earlier.
Yeah, and you can't deal with Thrawn this way.
No, you can't put one mercenary against Thrawn and expect him to win.
Oh God, no! Because Thrawn isn't this level of commander. He is a grand strategist.
Yeah. Oh, and talking of this level of commander, I said earlier that he had a Star Destroyer, but Gideon actually technically only has a light cruiser. It's the same shape as a Star Destroyer, but it's like the equivalent of a golf cart.
So it looks tough and intimidating, but it ain't shit.
Yeah, you put it next to one that actually is a Star Destroyer, and oh boy,
Fair do, fair do. Yeah, let's wrap this up, Rick. Do you have your own MVP?
Yeah, it's going to be FNF. Favreau wrote every single episode except for the Jedi, which was Filoni. And yeah, again, we're not saying that everything they touch turns to gold, but we'll take them over D&D any day.
Oh, for fuck's... Yeah, they cut... Yeah. D&D can't do shit without... They did a fair job of adapting something that already existed. I'm not going to shit on that. But the moment they ran out of material, they dropped the fucking ball. We got Favreau and Filoni. I butchered that, but that's because my fucking speech is weird at the best of times. Favreau and Filoni knocked it out of the park every single fucking time. What's more, Filoni is such a fucking diehard Star Wars nerd and does such a good job with everything he touches. He's head of creative, more or less, for Star Wars at the moment.
Yeah, he's like the creative consultant.
Yeah, took over for Kennedy.
Yeah. And he needed to, because Kathleen Kennedy, as much as filmmaking royalty as she is, she's not Star Wars royalty.
Yeah, I mean, I think I brought it up. It might have been the fucking previous Mando retro. It might have been when we did Star Wars Episode 4, but like, I don't want to shit on the woman because she's got a career. She did great with what she had. Everything she did with Star Wars just wasn't good.
Yeah. Like,
Rogue One was alright. Solo Story was alright. Wouldn't call it good.
It seems like what they did, apart from a couple of exceptions, was focus test in focus groups rather than with nerds.
Yeah, it could be.
Something that does well in a closed environment doesn't necessarily always do well with the public.
I kind of get it.
Yeah.
Because the Star Wars fans are a dying breed.
Oh no!
But you know, but do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Like, proper Star Wars diehard nerds were kids in the 70s.
Yeah.
They're not all here now.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people have like inherited a love of Star Wars from their parents, so they need to start sort of aiming towards new fans and drawing people in, as opposed to relying entirely on nostalgia. And like, I love nostalgia, but even I admit, like, Boba Fett was too much that and not enough its own thing.
Yeah. Like, we're like the Gen 2 of Star Wars nerds in that we were here for the 20th anniversary re-releases and then the prequels.
Well, I was here for the prequels.
Okay. I'm pretty sure you were alive for the other ones, just maybe not, super conscious.
It's one of those where, like, my first experience to Star Wars, as I said, was VHS tapes that my dad said, watch these.
Yeah.
Not because he wanted me to watch Star Wars, because he got to entertain the shit babby for 5 minutes. This will shut them up. I'll come in every 2 hours and change the video.
Yeah. Rewind that one, put the next one in.
Oh, jeez.
We borrowed our Star Wars VHSs from like one of my mum's work colleagues. We didn't even have our own. Like, we didn't have a copy of Star Wars until it came out on DVD.
Was there any more of a depressing fucking feeling than putting a VHS video into the player and going, fuck, they didn't rewind it? And then you'd rewind it and you go, not looking at the telly, I don't want to see what happens.
I had the benefit of being able to rewind it without watching it, so what I could do is I could look at the number and I could rewind it almost all the way and then stop just before the beginning, because that's where all the trailers were and you didn't want to fucking watch those because it was the same ones every fucking time.
I used to remember watching some old Disney VHS tapes and it was always an advert for Aristocats, followed by Pocahontas, followed by, now look at our classic collection, which is Snow White. There wasn't Little Mermaid, whatever came out around Snow White time. I think Bambi was in there.
Yeah.
It's just like, buy 2 for £7 or some shit. And it's just like...
Yeah, in my day, it was not... The classic collection wasn't even a thing in my day, because they still had the Disney Vault. The idea is that they put things back in the vault to generate scarcity.
Bastards.
So... when they re-released it, it was like, last chance to buy before it goes away again.
Yeah.
For who knows how long? Almost unfailingly, exactly 7 years each time. But the other thing they used to advertise were Disney sing-alongs.
Oh, I remember those fucking things. Never bought them, but I remember them.
Yeah. I'd always see them advertised, and then we never bought any because...
One, your parents didn't want you singing all day.
No. And B, they didn't have the nostalgia for those films that modern-day Disney nerds do.
Yeah. I do remember one Christmas, they were really advertising very hard. This was when DVD players were new, so we didn't even have a DVD player, so I couldn't have got it anyway. But it was like the complete Disney collection, and it was it wasn't all the Disney films, but it was most of the Disney films in a big old box set of DVDs, and it was like £150. And I was like, I want it.
But it's 150 quid.
The argument my parents used, which actually convinced me, was you have most of them already on videotape. And I was like, okay, totally. Fair enough. But I still looked on with envy because the box looked nice.
Yeah, it did, yeah. And when they released them in singles, they're like 30 quid each.
They were very expensive, yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much to dissuade you from buying them individually and encourage you to buy the box, which... It's a marketing strategy for sure. I don't know how well it paid off. I'm sure there was a few people who did fall for that. Yeah.
Like, if you do have them on VHS, then you could get away with buying like 2 or 3 on DVD that you didn't have somewhere. But
again, didn't have a DVD
at
player.
That point, yeah. But you did have a PS2.
Oh, this was before the PS2. We didn't get the PS2 on release.
Sure.
I never until the PS4. Even the PS5 is probably the only console I've bought on release, and even then, it was damn near a year after because of the scarcity.
Yeah. Good old scalpers.
Yeah, I like if you really wanted one, you could buy one for damn near twice the price, and I was like, fuck
like
you.
£1,000.
I don't want to spend £1,000 when the damn thing only costs 400 quid.
Yep.
2, I'm not giving you money, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. And on that bombshell.
But no, for real though, like, the thing that actually fucks me off about scalpers is they're always going to win at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Because at Christmas time, you want your kid to be happy.
There's always going to be some loud kid's rich mum who would rather pay twice as much than...
It's not even that, bro. Like, growing up, I mean, still now, I wouldn't exactly call myself wealthy. I'd call myself getting by. But as a kid, my family was definitely poor, you know? And, like, if your kid goes, this is the one thing I want for Christmas, and your family's poor...
Yeah, they lean into the one thing rather than a plethora of infinite little tidbits of shit. Like, you want Christmas to be remembered. Like,
little tidbits of shit. Sorry,
you know what I mean, though, right?
No, I do. It's just a funny way of wording it.
No one wants a stocking full of wank when they can have, one thing they actually want. Yeah. And, like, even if you don't have infinity money, you want Christmas to be memorable, you know?
You've got to remember as well that consoles in my house, when they were gotten for Christmas, they weren't from Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the things that, like, if I ever have kids, that's definitely going to be a thing, that presents come from the person. The shit from Santa is just the little shit.
The shit we got from Santa was the tiny little cans of Coke.
Yeah.
And, pretty much food.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone got an orange. And...
we used to get some plastic crap as well, which, as a child, I loved the plastic crap. But it was just plastic crap.
I got shiny pennies.
Shiny pennies, goddamn.
Yeah, freshly minted 1p's, 2p's, and pound coins.
What? This will pay for your college education, son.
Yeah. The 1s and 2p. Well, to be fair, they all went up on a shelf until I realised, I want a book. It costs £4. I have 3 of those pounds up there. I'll use my £1 pocket money for this month. And then I get my book.
Hey, I've got a quick question of you while we're talking about pennies. Did your nan or granddad or both have a giant bottle that was the size of a small child filled with pennies?
My dad has one.
Because my nan had one.
However, it's full of foreign pennies.
So fucking worthless.
So double worthless because most of those countries
no,
have converted
to the,
either the country no longer exists or they do still exist and they've converted to the euro.
To be fair, if you just want something cool to look at, having a big old glass bottle, by the way, filled with coins is cool. But also, if someone nicks it, you're not going to care if it's filled with foreign currency that no longer exists.
Yeah, the entire thing's probably worth about £4.
And that's just for the fucking sending the glass bottle off.
Yeah, and the scrap metal of the coins.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, I'm just remembering that scene from The Simpsons of you got L, V, S, and up. What country is this from? It no longer exists.
The bottle that it was for us was a big-ass bottle of Bell's whiskey, and my dad and other two uncles, all of which uncles by marriage. So the actual relatives who were blood-related beforehand were the sisters.
Yep.
They all did that one bottle in a weekend. So this massive one that comes up to, like, your thigh.
Yeah, man. Like, this is just going to be reminiscent at this point, but fuck it, we're in. When I used to go see my granddad, he'd always give us the same thing, and it was like, those little plastic bags you get from the bank.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still even do that anymore, because coins are kind of dying out. Is why I thought they might not have done. But yeah,
they do, because some businesses some businesses use cash more than others, like an off license, for instance. Sure. If they want to bank coins, they need to be in bank bags of, like, specifically £21 coins, or a tenner's worth of 50p's, which I've forgotten the number of them. I think it is also, like 20, but
yeah, my granddad would give a bank plastic bag full of pennies.
Oh.
Which go to the corner shop and buy some penny sweets.
Yeah.
Because people nowadays don't know why they're called penny sweets, but back in the day they were called penny sweets because they cost a fucking penny.
Yeah, I remember one time we were at scout camp.
Yes,
and that was away from home, and therefore you could do what you liked. So we bought 100 penny sweets for £1. And between us, we obviously went through them in an evening. So we decided, this is actually a very fun way to spend £1.
It really, get a couple of mates, and it's just it's just like nowadays when you all go out for a Chinese, but you don't actually buy anything for yourself. You just buy a group lot of bullshit, and it's just it's like a feast for a king, but you're with your friends.
Yeah, it's like, do you all trust me? Does anyone not like mushrooms or whatever? And then you just order, like, table this, table that, table the other, and just, like, everything is table food. Nothing is anyone's. Go nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Man, now I just feel sad because I'm just remembering the last 2 years of everyone's lives where we can't do shit.
Yeah, like, closest thing you can do is have a Chinese at the same time over Zoom.
No one does that.
Oh, apparently that's what mukbangs are meant to be. They're meant to be...
No, mukbangs are people who get turned on by girls going... Because it sounds a bit like sucking cock.
Or that one formerly vegan dude who's now 3 times his starting weight.
Oh, you're talking about fucking, what's his name, Avocado?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Ukrainian.
Is he?
Yeah. It was a horrible fucking joke to make, but someone said, wouldn't it be awful if the last thing you see as a Russian soldier is Avocado running at you with a look of hunger behind his eyes? Again, horrible fucking joke, but very funny. And on that bombshell...
Yeah. You like the video? You got the comment section?
That's really funny, come on. I know we don't talk about Ukraine because it's rather depressing, but that's kind of funny.
I mean, that's depressing, but talking about Nikocado Avocado just jiggling towards troopers is actually an interesting and amusing mental visual. But yeah, if you're listening to us on one of the audio platforms, you can send us an email. And where would that email go to?
What's Nikocado Avocado's email address?
Just say anything at mailinninja.com. It won't go anywhere.
But yeah, if you want to actually talk to us, we've got the nonsense review. We've got nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com. Once again, that is nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com. So far, we only get spam mail.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because the only people who have our email address is our fucking podcast provider. So obviously they've fucking sold it.
Yeah. Or people listening in, bots can listen to words. But yeah, it's definitely the people.
That because it's all aimed at it's all like, oh, we realize you have a podcast. Would you like to? And it's like, yeah, okay.
Would you like to buy views?
That's literally what most of them are, and I'm like, I can't afford it. And even if I could, what's the point in having having 1,000 views on every video if none of them are real?
Yeah. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, who are we kidding? It's gentlemen.